Hey guys, and in the last part of the tutorial, I'm sorry that it crashed, but we got to around this section, and basically what we've got so far is our table, and we have our logo inserted in the left hand side. Now, as you can see, after I've inserted it, I've got this huge amount of white space, and if we look in the split of our code, we can see that all it's saying is there's a row span of 2 because we merged these two rows together, and then there's our image there. And basically, what this does in HTML is declares an image. So the image source that's equals to our images folder, and then it looks for logo.png or whatever your folder and logo name are defined to, with the default width and height that is specified by your output export. So I exported mine as 130 by 150, and that's why I have this. And the alternative is logo, so that means that if for any reason Dreamweaver, when you put it live, your HTML can't find the image, it will display logo as the text instead. So if I do this and refresh in my homepage, it will say logo, whereas if I undo and I have logo.png and refresh, I'll have my logo there. So that's what alternative does, and it's just to sort of give a guidance of what should be there if there's a broken link. So going back to our design view, we want to start manipulating these columns and rows so that we're going to be able to position everything else inside of our document. So what we want to do is adjust these to the design we've made. So we're just going to move these cross sections across until we have them in sort of an evenly spaced manner. Then, because my search bar is going at the top, I probably want this to be around about that high, and then we're just going to bring these along and we're going to hit our merge cells. So that gives us some room in the top to put in our search bar, and we can put some cool animation on it, like the one on the Apple website. When you click on it, it opens up wider with some JavaScript. We have room for all of our links here. You have our home, we have media, social, about, and contact. Right. So the next part we'd really ideally want to do is actually building our links, and I kind of think that maybe we're going to need another row to do this on. So back in here, I'm going to add a new table row by doing tr. I'll close it there, and then it's going to have the same amount of columns as all the other ones have. So it's going to be td, 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 td. Sorry, I've got a really bad cough, guys. Don't know where it's come from really, but it's bloody annoying me. Right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, so six columns in there, 6 rows in there, and we want to put a no break space in between all of them. And what a no break space does is literally just puts a space in. There'll be no text in there, it's just like a white space, and by putting that in you'll be able to see where the row is, and now you can see we've got an extra row. And we want this to be merged with that, so it's all one part. This needs to come up a little bit more. And we're just going to want to leave enough room for our links where we're happy with them. So I'm quite happy with that, to be honest. And I need to put one more row column on the end of it. So we're just going to do another td, and in VSP close td. So basically what this is saying is we're going to have our first row with that many columns, then we're going to have our second row with that many columns, and then we're going to have our third row with that many columns. And then in the design view we get this. So this is more than enough space to start putting our links in. So I'm sure a lot of you would just jump in and you'd go home, what are our links? Home, media, social, about, and contact. And fair enough, that will give you the output that you're kind of looking for, but you get minimal customization over it. And this is where we're going to learn about applying CSS rules in order to give our site a much more professional finish, and also give us a greater deal of control over greater deal of control over what we can do. So what we're going to do is come into our split view, and you see that you have TD home. Now in HTML you have a variety of different sort of markup tags that you can use in order to style your elements and position your elements. And in this particular case we're going to be using the paragraph tag. And all that simply is your open of your left arrow, P, and then the closing of your left arrow. And then we'll come to the end of where the paragraph ends, and we're going to do /close P. And I can't zoom in on this, but I'm sure you guys can see it. It's like that. I need to really work out how to zoom in on Camtasia, but honestly I don't have a clue right now. But by doing that, we encapsulate it inside of a paragraph tag, which can be styled when we apply an ID or a class to it. Now a class selector in CSS will allow us to style a specific class, and if we declare it anywhere else, it will apply the elements given to that class to that specific element with that name. So for example, if you gave the class of carrot to a paragraph tag, and then you in your CSS you defined that carrot had the color of orange and it had the highlight of green, then when you came to declare that class on another paragraph tag, it would also inherit those properties. But we're going to be using the ID selector, which is giving the ID of carrot, for example, to that specific paragraph. So here we're going to be saying paragraph ID is equals to links, or nav links, right? And we're going to do the same process for each of our one sec. We're going to do the same process for each single one of our elements. So if you excuse me, I'm just going to pause the video and I'll be back when I've put these links in. Okay guys, so now we have included our links here. We're now going to actually go into our CSS and we're going to style them. So the first thing that we're going to need to do is go back to the root of our site, and there's one more folder we need to make in here which I forgot to do earlier, and that's going to be our CSS folder. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets, and it can be used to apply stuff like color, images, text animation, hover effects, link styling, positioning. Literally, it's the make or break point for a good website. If you've got a good CSS layout, then you're going to have a successful and clean professional website, and its capabilities are getting like better and better as time goes on. So to declare a CSS link in HTML, you need to come to the head of your document and you need to do a new set of tags. So we're going to do open tag link rel is equals to style sheet, and then we're going to say href is equals to browse, and then we're going to come to our site root, which is gfx port, css, file new, and then I'm going to make a folder in there called main.css, and then we're going to do OK. Right, and then we're going to close our link. Oh wait, and then type is equals to text /CSS, and that sets our CSS link up to our document. So now there is main.css in here, and we just do a quick save as because it's not coming out in the right format. So we just need it as main.css, not main.css.txt. So back in our source code, you can see we have main.css.txt, which is wrong. We just need main.css. Now there's a link to that file, and we can manipulate that how we need it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to declare properties to our body. So we're going to type out body, and then we're going to open a curly brace and close curly brace, give it a couple of lines indent, and then we're going to start applying our rules inside of here. So the first rule that I'm going to apply is I'm going to give everything a default font family. And what a font family is the type of font that you're going to be using, and by using a font family you're specifying a range of fonts. So in this example we're going to be using Arial, Helvetica and sans serif. So we're going to be going Arial, Helvetica, Arial, sans serif, and then you always finish a CSS rule with a semicolon, and the procedure always starts with a full colon to let it know what you're defining. So the font family is already a preset function, whereas the Helvetica, Arial and sans serif is the parameters which you put into the language. Now if we save that and we come to our browser and go to our home page, refresh, we get everything in this nice font. But if we were to completely remove this rule, save it, we'll get this horrible font, and you don't really want that. That just looks tacky as shit, and it really detracts from the design. So by updating that, we have some nice clean links that we have on our site. And to be honest with you guys, I want to make all of these capitals like they are in the design, because I just personally think that looks better, but you don't need to do that, but obviously I'm just choosing to do so. Please leave any comments below on how I can improve my commentating, because I'm sure I'm dragging on at some points, and maybe not all of you want to learn everything in such depth, but I'm trying to sort of explain it how I would from how I've read from books and previous tutorials and everything. I just want to provide a good level of understanding to you lot. But if you don't want that, then let me know, and obviously I'll cut down on the jibber jabber. Right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to return to our source code, and we're going to see that our paragraph ID is equals to navlinks. So in CSS to declare this, we literally put P, and then hash means ID, or it might be the pound sign as you know it in America. So we put p hash, and then we declare the ID itself, navlinks. So p hash navlinks with the open curly braces are going to inherit the parameters of a font of a color that's going to be equals to hash FFF, because I want them to be white. Then I'm going to have a text to decoration of none. Then I'm going to, no, I don't need that actually. Text decoration you use for what's it called? Text decoration is used when you want to apply those styling to a link. So remove the blue from a link, or remove the rollover of a link, or remove the sort of purple thing once you visited it. It doesn't always look nice. It can detract from the design. So people like to customize it. So that's what that does. Okay, so we have our color. We're also going to specify a text shadow, and we're going to go 1 pixel, 1 pixel, 1 pixel. That's going to be equals to 0, 0, 0, and then we're going to do semicolon. And basically what this is saying is we're going to have 1 pixel of border, 1 pixel of blur, and a 1 pixel radius on the blur. And then if we refresh that, we get this sort of effect. Now, I know you can't really see at the moment, but this will look a lot nicer later when we've put our backdrop in. Right, I'm going to end this part because it's getting long, so I'll see you in the next part, guys. Thanks for watching, peace.